In this video, we're setting you up with 5 tips to help you find the best used Scion FRS, Subaru BRZ, or Toyota 86 that you can for the dollar. I'm Justin Pritchard, and that's coming right up. So you might call these Toyobarus, referring to the rear-drive performance coupe model jointly put to market by Toyota and Subaru under names like the GT86 and BRZ, as well as the FRS from back in the day when it was sold by a now discontinued Toyota sub-brand, Scion. May it rest in peace. These cars have been around since 2013, have underwent numerous upgrades and tweaks, and were joined by various special edition models to help keep shopper interest peaking over time. But over the years and changes, the underlying recipe remained largely the same. The fast-spinning 200 horsepower flat-four boxer engine up front, available 6-speed manual transmission in the middle, and rear-wheel drive out back. Add in a convincing sports coupe cockpit, some rear seat space, and a slick instrument cluster with a center tachometer that looks like it came from a motorcycle, and you've got a pretty convincing way to generate some grins at the wheel. Even the 8-speed paddle shift automatic can be a blast to use with quick, sharp, and rev-matched shifting at the tips of your fingers. These machines are smoother under the hood, smoother on the road, and easier to live with than you might think. Average-sized folks will tend to find them comfortable once settled into, and fuel economy is reasonable if you're in no particular rush. So some great cars to inject some fuel-efficient fun into your daily commuting or road trips, provided you buy a model that isn't concealing one or more nasty problems that could be threatening to turn your bank account inside out a few weeks later. So let's start with tip number 1. Make some assumptions. As a shopper approaching a used sports car like this one, assume the BRZ or 86 you're considering needs new brakes, new tires, a new clutch, and a new battery as a bare minimum. You'll also want to assume the engine has been previously modified by a past owner using non-approved performance parts that have voided any remaining warranty coverage. Then work backwards. Check the tires, brakes, clutch, and battery for proper health, seeking expert help if necessary. In a performance car like this, accelerated wear to tires and brakes is expected. These parts will tend to wear down more quickly than they would on the Corolla that you're trading in. Same goes for the clutch, which should last the life of the vehicle if treated well, but which may have been vaporized by the bad habits of a previous driver in a matter of months, so be on the lookout. Modifications can lead to very expensive headaches that aren't covered by warranty, so be sure to buy a model that's still factory stock where possible. And that battery, well, turns out using a fresh one is a great way to improve the reliability of almost everything connected to it, specifically the car's electronics. Tip number 2, under the hood. When arriving for your test drive, insist on starting the engine from a dead cold state, confirming that the seller hasn't recently driven or pre-warmed it ahead of your arrival. Begin by checking the oil to confirm proper level and condition, then leaving the hood open. Start the cold engine and immediately look for signs of smoke from the tailpipes and a harsh tapping sound from the front or sides of the engine. Both could be signs of rare but serious trouble that requires further investigation. Some owners of earlier models reported leaky front engine covers, which could result in visible oil seepage or a leak from the front of the engine that shouldn't be too hard to spot. You'll want to have the engine control unit or ECU scanned too. Even if there's no check engine light, this scan can reveal various sensor and electronic problems that the seller might be hoping you'll foot the bill for. Some owners have reported failed spark plugs and fuel injectors, which can result in a stored trouble code that'll be revealed by this scan. Tip number 3, owner's community advice. Seasoned owners tend to recommend potential shoppers keep an eye on fluid levels and maintain their cars religiously, especially when it comes to fluid changes. Some experienced owners have reported clutch and transmission noise, particularly related to a throwout bearing that can get noisy when it wears out. If you've confirmed the clutch in the car you're considering is healthy, but it's difficult to work smoothly or makes excessive squeaking or squealing sounds, replacing this part is the likely solution. Allowing the throwout bearing to fail outright can cause collateral damage to the clutch and flywheel, so if it sounds funny, get it changed out. A clutch pedal that feels jumpy or a driveline that's rough and noisy at high revs can also be a sign of a bad throwout bearing, so pay close attention on your test drive. Toyota did issue technical service bulletins or TSBs to help technicians deal with these problems. Tip number 4, dampness check. There are at least 2 areas where shoppers will want to check for unwanted dampness when making their test drive. First, pop the trunk, remove the spare tire provisions, and expose the metal spare tire well beneath the floor. Moisture, rust, or standing water in this area is sign of a leak, likely from a sunroof, spoiler mounting hole, or tail lamp seal. Leaks like this are no fun and can cause damage. It might be best to move to another unit if you spot any. Second, pay close attention to the headlight and tail lamp housings on the car you're considering. Look closely and scrutinize the inside of each. If you see standing water, condensation, haze, or rust, the vehicle might be suffering from a commonly reported condensation problem, with most affected units having replacement housings installed under warranty. Tip number 5. Other checks. Most BRZ, FRS, and 86 owners report a solid machine that's easy to live with and trouble-free, especially when regular maintenance and inspection intervals are followed precisely. Still, test driving shoppers should be on the lookout for excessive clutch pedal hinge noise, a cricket-like chirping sound that could be a sign of a bad fuel pump, wrinkles, bubbles, or lifting of the materials covering the dash and doors, and peeling steering wheel finishes. Some owners have reported engine failure, typically under warranty and possibly caused by a valve spring or fuel injector problem that seems to have affected earlier models in this machine's generation. Most have not. These tips were designed to help test driving shoppers more easily identify possible trouble areas reported by some owners, and an attentive test drive and shopping process that focuses on the areas we just covered can help you find a first-class example of a second-hand Toyota 86, Scion FRS, or Subaru BRZ. If you liked that video, we've got plenty more like them. Consider subscribing to the channel down below so you never miss a new upload. Hit that like button down below if you learned something new, and be sure to check out our latest used car reviews over at Driving.ca. My name's Justin Pritchard, and until next time, take care and drive safe.